Hey guys, welcome to another one of my videos. Today we're going to be looking at the molecules and matter subtopic in the physics subject. Today we're going to be looking at density. So first of all, what is the density of an object? Well, the density is how many atoms are packed in a certain space of a certain material, and it's specific to each material. So if it's the same material but different volumes, it'll still have the same density because it's specific to that material and it's the same for that material. Now, to find the density of an object, you need to get the mass and divide it by the volume to get the density. Now, to get the mass, this is for solids. To get the mass, you weigh the object that you're measuring. Now, for the volume, if it's a regular solid, such as a cube, you would use a ruler or perhaps vernier calipers to get it more precise. If it's an irregular shape, though, it's a little bit more difficult. You need to use something that looks a little bit like this, called a Eureka Cam. Now, the Eureka Cam is a can with a spout here, and the spout plays quite an important role. You fill up to the spout with water, then you place your object into the water. Now, because the object you place in will displace the amount of water that it takes up, it will flow out of this spout and into this container. And you can measure the volume of the water displaced, therefore measuring the volume of the object you placed in it. Now, to find the volume of the density, of a liquid, it's a little bit more difficult. You can find the volume relatively easily as long as your container has measurements on it. However, finding the mass is a little bit more difficult. So you need to find the mass of the container, then fill it with the water and get the overall mass. Then get the overall mass and subtract the mass of the container from it. This will give you the volume of the water. Now, to find the density, you get the mass of the water, divide it by the volume, and you've got the density of water. Now, as a last thing, why do some objects float on water? And this is because their density is less than water. One example of one of these substances is ice. Now, ice is actually quite a strange one because it's floating on its own surface, on its own liquid state itself. So the reason for this is water is quite rare in the fact that it expands when it freezes rather than contracting. This means that the volume will increase, but the particles will not decrease or increase. So the density will be different because the volume is changing, but the atoms are staying the same amount of atoms. And this is why it will float on water, because it has a less dense density, and that's why it will float on water. So I hope this will help with your revision, and there'll be more coming soon. Bye for now.